Hey folks, I'm Rupali, your host, and welcome to my channel Crime Hack. We are listening to the story Mystery of the Catacombs Tunnels. We are moving on to episode 10 today. If you like the story so far, please share, like, and comment on my videos and spread a little intrigue. To hear the complete story, just subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. I publish a new episode every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so don't forget and keep coming back for more. Nayak Brothers and the Mystery of the Catacombs Tunnels by Rupali Rajabadhe Roti, Part 10. Aakash Mehta was beaten right after the Valentines, and his friends Raj and Sandy Nayak are trying to find out why. They meet with Priya because her name was mentioned by the attackers and realize that she probably is neither involved nor aware of this whole episode. The same evening, Raj and Sandy get ambushed and are warned to stay away from her. As soon as the boys are released, Sandy goes after their attackers. Through chili powder stinging watery eyes, he spies 4 people walking in the distance. He hears them talking, but stops to remove the nails the attackers had thrown on the road to stop them, lest another innocent passerby meets with an accident. But when he looks up, the foursome is nowhere to be seen. And now. Sandy lost a beat, but held his fort in the hope that he would be able to hear their vehicles in the stillness of the night. The attackers couldn't possibly be walking home. At the same time, he hurried in their direction, dragging his bike alongside him. Luckily, after a while, he heard a couple of engines roaring to life in the distance. He kick-started his own bike at the same time so as to drown his engine's noise in that of theirs. Impulsively, he switched off the headlight. The very next instant, he saw a pair of headlights climbing the ditch to join the road from the left. It must be them, he hoped, and followed at a safe distance. It was becoming difficult to follow them with the air hitting his eyes squarely, causing them to water profusely. He had developed a mild headache trying to read the number plates, but couldn't. They were headed towards the center of the city when, at a crossroads, Sandy heard fierce screeching of brakes to his right. He turned his head, and the air hitting his eyes sideways caused them to water more. He could only see a blotch of white hurtling towards him. His stomach twisted in knots at the possibility of an accident. As he braced himself for the inevitable, the other driver skidded on the stopped wheels of his bike and nearly missed hitting him. Sandy saw the other man raising a fist at him and muttering something. Luckily, he seemed to be in a hurry and didn't want to wait to fight over this near accident. But Sandy decided that enough was enough and stopped pursuing the crooks. Taking cue from his brother, he also didn't call home for a lift. He called Dev instead, who readily agreed. A few minutes of waiting and a motorbike zoomed up at high speed. It was almost on top of him when the rider hit a sudden brake, lifted the rear wheel in the air while completely reversing his direction, then landed the raised wheel with a thud on the road right in front of Sandy. Taking off his helmet, the rider then shook his head to bounce his thick, slightly long hair with style. Beaming up at Sandy was Dave's handsome face. "Here's Dhoom 7 for you, baby. Climb aboard for a ride of your life." Dave sat smiling, waiting for Sandy to hop on. But Sandy's heart had stopped beating for a moment, and he stood frozen at the spot, not believing that he hadn't been swept off his feet by Dave's rear wheel. "What's wrong with your eyes?" Dave asked as soon as he noticed. Sandy was still wide-eyed. What was that stunt? Dave stretched his smile further. Was practicing this move for days. He patted his bike. "It has come out fantastic, hasn't it?" Sandy nodded dazedly. "Just so you know, I would prefer walking through the door to my house, not crashing through it." Dave let out a hearty laugh. Don't be a chicken, DJ. Hop on." DJ stood for Detective Junior and Raj was DS, Detective Senior, though Sandy called him BS instead. Now, Dev couldn't exactly be placed in the category of brave men or stunt men, but he had the capacity to do anything at all just to look cool or to draw attention to himself. But for now, Sandy's eyes were drawing all the attention. "Have you been crying?" Dev asked teasingly. "No chance." Taking up a seat behind Dev, Sandy replied, "These are the tears of satisfaction, knowing that my best friend has finally devised and practiced a way to get himself killed." Dev giggled. "But seriously, dude, why were you crying?" he asked again. "Seriously?" "I was not crying," Sandy reiterated. With a serious tone, he added, "We were actually ambushed a few minutes ago and were told to stay away from Priya. They threw chili powder in our eyes, and that's why my eyes are watering." Dave was flabbergasted. "Don't tell me that talking to Priya is dangerous as well," he asked wide-eyed.